Plan Z that I think Putin never thought he'd get to, because I think he went through Plan A, Plan B, Plan C, Plan D, Plan Z, and he's like gotten to Plan Z here, where he's going to choke off. He wants to choke off Europe because the sanctions obviously are hurting him. I don't know if you heard, but he ended up. Let's see here. Can you guys hear me all right? I think hopefully you guys can hear me. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Somebody's saying they can't hear me. I can hear. Okay. I'm still a panelist. I gotta do it to everybody. Okay, so somebody's having a little bit of trouble. I gave him my old, go-to fix when you're having a problem with your computer. Restart. That's all I can say. You see the levels. If you looked at the chat box there, you saw the levels. Again, the market's a little bit fluid. Coming down here now, we got a little support down here at 39, and we're all in the same bar here, and we're clicking away at our levels. So, there's something going on here, and it just happened in the last 30 minutes. I mean, for the most part, it was under control, the market. Traded very, very quiet. So keep that in mind. Whatever's going on, just keep your stops in place. That's all I can say. Powell is talking. Is that right? Let me see. That could be a deterrent to the market volatility. And no wonder with Powell's talking, it would make sense. Well, that would make sense that we're getting this goofiness right now. Again, he hasn't said anything good lately. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but let's see here. Let me see here. I should have. Yeah, Powell talked at 8:10. That's when all this stuff started. You're right. Good call there. Thank you for letting me know that. And I was wondering what was going on there. Of course, there's F stuff going on. Yeah, he's still talking. You can tell he's still talking. The market's still going down. I'll give you a hint. When the market stops and starts going back up, he stopped. That's the worst when he's being interviewed still, because God knows what he's going to say. So make sure you keep your stops in place here. Thanks for that info there, Philip. I appreciate it. I didn't look at my calendar of events here right away. So, but you're right. And then there is really no economic reports coming out. There is another Fed speak at 11. We'll see what happens from there. All right. So there's a reason why we're getting this little volatility. It's always an F day when he talks. So be mindful and careful. All right, let's see here. Facing headwinds and crisis on all sides, the European Central Bank is likely to begin a super aggressive phase of monetary policy today, with the largest hike in the institution's 24-year history. Most economists see a jumbo-sized 75 basis point increase in the cards after the bank raised the interest rates at a half point in July. That hike was its first in many a decade, and the first since the pandemic, and highlighted how severely the ECB is behind the central bank peers. That's the European Central Bank. Playing catch-up won't be easy, with the Eurozone staring down a barrel of severe economic crises. The common currency is plunging amid surging inflation, which hit all-time high of 9.1% in August, while a damaging recession is in the works due to the energy crisis. Things are not getting any better as Russia threatens to cut off all gas supplies to a collective West ahead of what might be a harsh winter and retaliate in the G7's imposition of price caps on Russian oil. This is a nasty, nasty game that this world is playing right now at this moment in time. This is just not good. At Jackson Hole, ECB executive board member acknowledged a trade-off between taming inflation and maintaining growth. Well, that's not happening anymore. Yet she stressed a robust control approach to monetary policy, focus on getting inflation down at whatever cost. Well, I don't know. Anyway, many are wondering if the ECB can even play catch up, or if it's caught in the catch-22, raise rates to stave off entrenched inflation, only to find that energy prices are keeping costs elevated and weighing on economic output. In that situation, inflation may not decline, or can at least take quite a while to decline, risking a nightmare stagflation scenario. The ECB already announced its decision in a news conference that happened this morning. So there you go. They are not happy campers. We did have initial claims come out this morning. Yeah, I mean, whoever thought of depending on Russia to get all its gas supplies and Russia is just playing its cards. I mean, they're just choking the whole world off. Initial claims down to 222,000. They're expecting 235. So the employment situation here in the United States keeps staying strong. That's why I think a good number is bad for the market, because they're going to increase rates 75 basis points. It's really as simple as that. As long as the economy is strong, they feel that they can raise rates because the economy is strong. So that's where we're at there. No price hikes for those new Apple phones, by the way, in case you were thinking of jumping out there and buying one. I know Brad goes and gets the top technology stuff every time. So, yeah, so if you're looking to buy a new phone, while the fresh iPhone lineup looks similar to the existing phones, that's the one thing you do give them credit for. All their phones look the same. It's just what's in there that makes the difference, obviously. They have Globostar satellite messaging for emergency use. Most of the upgrades on the high-end models include a 48 megapixel camera sensor and pill-like space at the top of the screen, known as the dynamic island, that changes based on the type of notification or action that is occurring, like charging or playing music. I love these guys. They're good. You have to admit they're good. They're good. All right, we are staying on the lows here. It's absorbing Powell's chit chat that he's having right now. He's talking, and so if you don't want to trade when he's talking because of the volatility, fluidity. It's my new word, fluidity. I'm using that today. Fluidity versus volatility. Yeah, at least for an hour. Oh, look how fluid it got. Oh, he stopped. It must have stopped talking. I'll take a shot and say stop talking. I don't know. What? No, he's not. Well, what did he say? Anything good? Or did they just get caught short? That's all. That's good stuff. That is good stuff here. All right. Resistance on the upside. I'm looking at 70. Again, he's chit-chatting away, so I would not do anything until 70, and we'll see what happens around that. I mean, he is talking, so careful, careful. I will say careful more than anything else, because you have to be careful with this guy chit-chatting away. Keep your stops in place. Whoa. He must have said something halfway decent. Quickly coming up here to our 70 area. Again, if you don't like how fluid it is, then just stay on the sidelines. He said inflation can be tamed without drastic increases. Yeah. Well, look, like I said, he can say anything, right? By the way, they did say that he's a terrible question and answer guy, because when he gave his speech at Jackson Hole, it was a speech and it was like hawkish as hell. But when he answers questions, he tries to make it seem it's not so bad. And this is what obviously is doing right now. We got up right up to 68.5. Now with this, with the volatility here, careful, right? Let's be a little bit careful here. If you're going to be trading this, especially the 70 with this volatility, obviously, if you maybe got in, if you scaled in there, then you did okay. Obviously, we're not scaling in a point above and below with this volatility today. We're definitely doing it a little bit bigger. And if you can't handle the fluidity, then just sit tight. He will stop talking. And then, this is why I hate F days. They're just terrible days to trade. Yeah, Jackson Hole, he read his speech and there was no Q&A, and it was hawkish as hell. And they say that when he gives his Q&A answers, he tries to patty cake it a little bit, make it make it not so bad. So again, said be careful there at 70. So nice little rotation here from these lows. This is why you have to keep your stops in place here, right? Okay, nice little rotation here against the 70 if you are taking it. Got right up to 70, 75. I'm going right back up here. Very, very fluid. If you didn't notice, they really like what he said. All right, again, working. If you did get into 70, you're working the 70 area. If you're not and waiting, that's fine too. Remember. Well, it's not white knuckle if you keep your stops in place, because you put the level in, and then from there, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's not. You get stopped, and you look at the next possibility. I mean, but then again, it's an F day, so I don't like trading this. I'll be honest with you. When there's these guys chatting away in the sidelines, look what happened. You had what is this? 43 to 71. Yeah. 43 to 71. What is that? 30 S&P point move? Yeah, 30 S&P point move. Almost less than that. I hate to tell you this there, Philip, but I've been there. I hate to tell you, but I've been there. Hey, Don, you around? All right, nice rotation there against the 70 area. If you did take it, again, we explained the risk, and you have to, trade the risk, whether you're going to trade it or not. It all depends on your risk tolerance, right? You scaled in, depending on how you scaled in. Hopefully, if you just took the 70, you did okay. Again, everybody has their own way of trading. We did have a couple of reasons there to get in at 70. We had our level. We had the blue band coming in there. It was at 69 when it got up there. But if you didn't take it and you're waiting for the market to settle, totally get it. Totally get it. Next level above is up at the 77 area. I'm just here to hold your hand. That's all. All right. Anybody have any questions? Feel free to ask in the chat. Don, you around? Don's on the tractor right now. He's probably trading from his tractor. I can see Don on his tractor on his palatious, grounds. Just he's got a, he's trading on his iPad or something. You could see that. And of course, he can't hear me if he's trading on his tractor, right? All right, the market is, again, just fluid, right? Choppy, volatile, crazy, whatever words you want to use at the time being, because of the Fed speak, not a Fed speak, but the Fed speak. Duh or D, oh D, oh duh. You could tell I'm a little. I don't like this trade. That's what happens when I don't like a trade. I hope you guys are doing okay. The Fed the 70 worked perfectly. The 70 worked perfectly, and down below, the first rotation down to 47 was just a quickie. They got a quick. If you had the order in, you had to have the order in, and then it got crazy, and then we went down to what's that, 42 and change there, right? So you didn't even, obviously the volatility is back in the market, so you're going to have to expand your stops a little bit here, 4 or 5 points for sure. Bond market, though, hanging in there. 134 handled a little relief rally yesterday in the bonds, right? Let's see what the yield on the 10s, at 325. They were at 335, 340. So they've given a little bit of a relief rally there in the bond market. Now, let me see if if they are trading the. Okay, I don't think they've switched over to these yet, so we're probably going to stay with SEP one more week, unless they do it tomorrow, which I can't imagine them doing tomorrow. Okay, the interview is finally over, and now we'll see what kind of. No, that's Chad. Thank you very much for those levels. If you look at the chat, for those of you who, if you look at the chat, oh my God, if you look at the chat box, okay, I don't know what's wrong with me today. If you look at the chat box, you will see the levels that we have that are given out during the day. They're there to help us, guide us, and hopefully we can try to make a little bit of money around them as our next resistance area. Whoa. As soon as you say, I was trading at 73 and down to 70, just like that. So this is very, very fluid. Was that a hanging chat? Oh, you're old enough to remember. Let's see, probably if you ask anybody, I would say 30 and younger, they probably would not know what that is. We are dating ourselves, sir. All right. Again, 77. We can see it's very volatile, right? We were trading at 73, then back down to 67 in a flash. So, this is not a trade for the weary, but just keep your stop in place. We got 77 coming up. And then everything went digital. And you're asking yourselves, what's digital? How can that work? Digital. You forgot the digital. Then the cloud. What is Bluetooth? Okay. All right. The Queen is having some medical issues there, concerns about her health. And just in case you were, doesn't look like Queen Mom is going to, she's 96. God bless her soul there. Well, God bless her. Let's not go to the soul part yet. She's having a little bit of, she's resting in her bed. Whatever you say about that, that's pretty amazing. Oh, come up here to 77 really quick. Goodness, how did that happen? We are getting volatile still crazy and still volatile. So keep your stops in place. Okay, done. No more. See here. See what we can do here. And there's crazy stuff happening. She is. It's pretty amazing, right? I mean, for so long, too. I mean, okay, there's our rotation there against our 77. All right, nice trade there. There we go. All right, whew. That's one trade I put on today. That's my first trade today, 77. I had my 80 was my backup, was my green band there, as well as the settlement price. So I had my 77 matched up against my 80. I was feeling okay on that trade. Got right up to 8 and 75. So not too much heat considering the volatility. All right, nice little rotation there against the 77. So I mean, as you know, you could say what you want. Levels are at the. All right, there. You have a good one. Thanks, Phil, for your help. I appreciate it. Try to keep everything light considering Paul's chit-chatting away. All right, nice rotation there against the 77 area. All right, coming up here and just kind of hanging around the upper end of the range as looks like Powell's finished talking. All right, coming down there to our blue band, popping back up just a little bit. All right, so now we're getting some volatility back in here, as you can see. All right. Well, again, just patience here. You got to have some patience, so we'll see what happens. All right, it's getting choppy here a little bit. So again, we got down to 60. Our pivot there was 56, so not tough. It's a tough one to get too excited about. All right. So definitely quieted down here a little bit. Still choppy, but a lot less, you know, it is still moving around, but not so much. Next level on the upside we have is up at the 87. Support right now probably be around, I mean, you know, I, I mean, you could do 50 a little bit, but I mean, the safer entry point would probably be 39 down below if we get back down there. But it's trading both sides of our blue band, so it gets a little bit, you know, a little bit kind of going nowhere fast type of situation. So you have to be a little bit patient here. So really kind of again don't have anything good because of when you get these like extended ranges because of the Fed, right? Talking and chit chatting away, you definitely have issues with where you're going to find some price action opportunities along the way, just because it is what it is. All right, again, we're a little range bound here. So again, I got too many great trades here for only because it just doesn't seem like it's a tough little trade here, especially with Powell talking. So they got to get back into a little bit of a range, and then we'll see what happens. Upside resistance is up at the 87, downside support. Really, I mean, there's other little opportunities along the way, but really nothing good until the 39 area down below. So in the middle here, uh, I mean, this is what I like to call the no trade zone, only because it doesn't seem like to want to go too far too fast and kind of range bound. It's tough to trade a little range bound trade because you never know when they're going to break out of it. So if you're going to trade the range, just keep your stops in place and then see what happens from there, right? But not my favorite trade. So this is unfortunately why we don't like trading F days, because you get this crazy volatility, and then they do nothing. No, don't tell me you pop back in. Come on, you're out. Yeah, he just, like I said, he seems to make things a little bit nice when he comes back and starts talking. I mean, he doesn't want to like sound so harsh, and then but he writes his stuff out, and he definitely when they tell him to read it. Well, I mean, okay, I'll take it as a compliment somewhere in there. Take it as a compliment. I get it. Crazy people all around, and I'm in the middle. You're stuck with me. All right, again, did get up to, well, again, it's just choppy here. Yeah, I get it. I get a range, but it's tough to find. Some people love to trade the range. Especially today with Fed thing, because everybody like, and then they, broke it initially, and now he stopped talking, and now they're slowly bringing it back. You know, again, you got this big dominating bar here from what day is this? Mm, let's see. Today's Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, last week, Friday probably. Yeah. Yeah, we're right back in that. We snuck below it yesterday for a little bit. And then, yeah, we came back. So, but that's not say this dominating bar is still a big to do. And we talked about 40-20 having to close above it as a big area, which it never got up there. All right, so we are making a move up here, back up here to 87. That's our next level that we're looking at. You never thought that, once we're officially out. Okay. All right. Once I told you when we were down at 60, you never know when they're going to make a move one way or the other, and they're making a move up here to the 87 area. You just have to, like I said, just have to be patient, right? I mean, you just never know when you're going to get an opportunity, even though they were far apart. All right, coming up here to the 87 area. Yeah, you got it right up to 87 there. Hopefully you're in somewhere. Scaling in, remember, we can't be perfect. Getting a nice little rotation here against it. All right, nice little trade there. We did jump in. Say here the 82 would probably be a good area. 83, good area to cover if you did get it. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully some of you did jump in there. All right, again, patience was important. Waiting for opportunities. We always talk about that, and we are getting the opportunities because of the volatility or the fluidity. So that is a good thing. Well, we had 87 as our level. I don't know if you saw can somebody repeat the levels in the chat that we gave out this morning? There they are. Those are the levels that we gave out in the morning. And 87 was the 77 and then the 87. The 77 worked nicely. And the 87 obviously here worked very nicely. So we got 95 and an 02. Let me give you a couple of levels, Chad, if you can give the levels above here. This is usually the place where it stops rallying since I'm giving levels to the upside. We got 10, 17. Again, remember 17 to 20 area, and then 28. Again, usually this means the end of the rally. No, everybody gets them. Chad, could you make sure it goes to everyone and not just to the panelist when you put them in? We'll get them back up there for you in a minute. There we go. There are the levels that we gave out this morning again. And now we added some more. Above the 02, we got 10, 17, and then 28. Like I said, I probably put a kibosh on the rally here. That's usually my go-to. That's what happens when I'm doing this thing. Every time I stop it, I put a kibosh on which way we're going when I add some more levels. All right, we got down to the 74-ish area and then rotated back up. Again, there's different support levels along the way. It all depends on how aggressive you want it to be. All right, again, we have 87 worked very nicely now. That's the high to date so far. Looking at the 95 next, and remember that we gave you levels above. You can see in the chat right now, they're right there. You have to be a little bit of patience right now. It has decent support around the 65 area. 64 to 65 area, and then really above anything below 55, you definitely don't want to be long. It could rotate back down to the lows. On the upside here, looking at 95 next, then you have the levels in the chat for you. Again, this is on the heels of Powell talking this morning and created some volatility in the market. So obviously we're now created that kind of wideish little range, and that's why we have to be a little bit patient there and wait for opportunities to play themselves out. But we've definitely gotten about 4 or 5 trades already this morning just on our levels alone. So we can't complain. There were a couple price action plays there if you were very aggressive, if you were interested in some of those. We don't talk about all of those all the time, though. All right, get back here in a bit. Very, very choppy, as you can see, right? So be very, very careful and just play, just pick your spots.